Be still, my beloved child. Stop where you are and listen. Set down the noise of the day, close the door on every distraction, and attend to my voice. This is not another video, not background sound to pass a restless evening. This is a divine encounter. You did not arrive here by accident. My spirit guided your steps, marked your path, and chose this moment to meet you face to face. You who have carried decades of questions, fatigue, and unspoken prayers, hear me. Tonight bears more power, more breakthrough, and more significance than the last 10 years combined. The pressure you have felt, the pieces that seem to fall apart, the strange weight upon your heart, these have been the tremors of a holy shift. You are not standing at the edge of another season. You are standing at the doorway of transformation. What resisted you is yielding. What was sealed is unlocking. Take a small step of obedience that opens great gates. Subscribe so this word can reach 1 million hearts I am calling. Then write 777 in the comments. Sign of divine completion, awakening, and holy alignment. When you do it, you are not typing for attention. You are declaring to heaven, I am ready. And to those who have sown through super thanks, faithful prayers, and steady presence, I call your offering sacred. Your generosity fuels a global awakening. I myself am stirring. Ask your soul a question only truth can answer. What if every delay, every silent year, every wound was preparing you for this night? Receive this assurance. This is your appointed time. Not coincidence, but orchestration. Not chance, but covenant. I am here, and I have come to begin what nothing and no one can stop. Open your heart and step through the door with me. Beloved, hear me now. This night is not like any other night you have lived through. I am not merely opening a small door for you to step through. I am unsealing a great gate that has been shut for years. What you thought was locked away forever is being loosed in my timing. What seemed out of reach is drawing near. The dreams that felt delayed, that you once believed were slipping further and further from your grasp, are now beginning to chase after you. The prayers you thought had gone unanswered are rising before my throne as testimony, and I am moving swiftly on your behalf. The enemy believed that the weight of waiting would crush you, that delay would weaken your faith and steal your hope. He thought that if he stretched the silence long enough, if he clouded your path with confusion and disappointment, you would give up before the promise was revealed. But what he did not see, what he could never comprehend, is that I use storms to bring forth transformation. Your greatest shift is not coming after the storm has passed. It is unfolding right here, right now, in the very midst of it. The darkness you walked through has not disqualified you. It has refined you. The tears you shed in solitude have not been wasted. They watered the soil for the harvest I am bringing forth in your life tonight. Stay with me until the end of this word. Do not drift away. Do not allow distraction to rob you of what I am pouring into you. For I will reveal to you why I allowed the wait, why I permitted the silence, why I held you in places that seemed barren. You thought delay meant denial, but I tell you tonight that delay was preparation. You saw emptiness, but I was laying foundation. You felt forgotten, but I was hiding you for a greater unveiling. What seemed like wasted years were years of shaping, molding, preparing you for impact. You were not standing still. You were being readied. Look to my servants of old, for their lives are witnesses of the way I move. Moses wandered 40 years in the wilderness before I released him into his destiny. In those long years, he did not see progress, but I was shaping him into the leader who would part seas and confront Pharaoh with boldness. David was hunted, forced to hide in caves, dodging spears and fleeing betrayal. To men it looked like loss, but to me it was training. I was forging a shepherd boy into a king who would carry my heart and lead a nation. Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, sold as a slave, and thrown into prison, seemed forgotten. Yet every pit and prison was positioning him for the palace, where he would save nations in famine. Do you see? Delay is not defeat. It is my design. Hiddenness is not abandonment. It is strategy. Every season you thought was empty was filled with my instruction. Every path that seemed detoured was moving you closer to the exact place I ordained. You have asked me through tears, "Why, Lord? Why so long? Why so heavy? Why so silent?" And tonight I answer you, because I was preparing you to carry more than you thought possible. The walls of waiting were not meant to trap you, but to strengthen you. The silence was not absence. It was sanctification. And now the time has come. You are standing on the threshold of transformation. Not because of your striving, but because of your surrender. You endured when others walked away. You held on to faith when evidence was nowhere to be seen. You obeyed in secret when applause was absent. And every act of quiet obedience has been laid as a brick in the foundation of what I am about to build in you. So lift up your head, chosen one. Do not brace yourself for more pain. Brace yourself for acceleration. The winds are shifting, not to scatter you, but to propel you. When I say prepare yourself, I am not warning of collapse. I am announcing velocity. The ground beneath you is shaking, not to bury you, but to launch you. Just as Elijah outran the chariots after years of drought and despair, you too will outrun every obstacle that once held you back. The doors that were bolted against you are swinging open. The voices that mocked you will fall silent. The past that clung to you like chains is losing its grip. And the light of your calling will shine so clearly that even those who doubted you will be forced to stand in awe. Think not of the years you believe were lost. I have not lost them, for I redeem time. What looked like stagnation has been compressed into this moment of sudden movement. You have wondered when your season would come. Tonight I declare to you that it is here. You have felt hidden, unnoticed, unseen. But I saw you every moment. Every tear you swallowed to encourage someone else, I counted. Every prayer whispered in the dark, I recorded. Every act of faith you thought went unnoticed was written in my scrolls. None of it was wasted. Not a single moment of obedience is forgotten in my kingdom. And tonight you will see the fruit of seeds you thought had died. Do not be afraid of the trembling you feel in your spirit. That is not fear. It is alignment. It is heaven making room for your rise. You are not preparing for collapse. You are preparing for lift. The pressure you feel is the pressure of birth, the contractions of destiny. You are stepping into a night that carries the weight of 10 years. Do not shrink back now. Do not wonder if you are ready, for I have made you ready in the fire of affliction. The gold I refined in you through loss, through trial, through endurance, is what will carry you forward. This night is not symbolic. It is supernatural. This is not wishful thinking. It is appointed timing. And when I move, nothing can hinder, nothing can delay, Nothing can cancel what I have decreed. So I say to you, be still and know I am God, but also rise and know that I am moving. Stay with me until this message concludes, for there are revelations I am unfolding that will answer questions you have carried for years. You will see why the wait was necessary, and you will understand that the weight you bore was not punishment, but preparation for the blessing that is now being released. I am not calling you to endure more storms. I am calling you to walk in the breakthrough that the storm has prepared. What the enemy meant for harm, I have turned for your good. What he thought would destroy you has become the very foundation of your rise. And now you will step forward, not timidly, but with authority, clothed in my favor and propelled by my Spirit. Beloved, your waiting season has ended. This is the night of divine eruption, the moment of holy acceleration. You are not crossing into another chapter. You are stepping into a new book authored by my hand. Let go of the fear, release the doubts, and fix your eyes on me. For I, the Lord your God, am declaring, the gate is open, the shift is here, and your transformation begins tonight. Beloved, understand this truth. The last 10 years of your life have not been wasted, nor have they been an endless cycle of unanswered prayers and silent delays. What you call delay, I call design. Every year that stretched long before you, every season that felt like it would never end, was my orchestration, my careful weaving of circumstances to prepare you for this exact night. Do not despise the years that seemed barren, for they were not void of my hand. They were not years of abandonment, but years of alignment. You have not been overlooked. You have been hidden for the unveiling that begins now. I spoke long ago through my prophet Habakkuk, and I speak it again to you tonight. Though the vision tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. My word does not return void, and my promises do not wither in the soil of time. They ripen in the waiting, and they emerge at the appointed hour. What you thought was held back from you has simply been reserved for you. This is that hour, and the vision I planted in you long ago is beginning to breathe, to rise, to stretch its wings. Can you feel it in your spirit? That stirring, that trembling, that awakening. It is the sound of destiny shaking free from chains. It is the whisper of prophecy declaring itself fulfilled. This is not a season of postponement. This is the season of unveiling. Even now, angelic hosts have been dispatched on your behalf. The winds of my spirit are shifting, and heaven's atmosphere is pressing against the barriers that once confined you. You have wondered if your prayers reached me, if your voice was heard in the silence. Know this, not one word you spoke was wasted, not one cry was ignored. I gathered every whisper into my presence and aligned it with my timing. Tonight, those prayers converge with my will, and heaven and earth meet in a collision of purpose. The atmosphere is not still tonight. It is alive with divine movement. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit senses it. The winds of breakthrough are rising, carrying you from hiddenness into visibility. Look to the examples I have set before you in this age. For even now I remind you that my patterns remain unchanged. Consider my servant Francis, who walked in quiet obscurity for many years, unseen by the world, his devotion hidden in prayer and service. Yet at the appointed time, I lifted him from the shadows and placed him as a voice of compassion and mercy for the nations. His rise was not ambition, it was alignment with my timing. Consider also my servant Tyler, who once had no place to lay his head, overlooked, dismissed, and disregarded. Yet, in his wilderness, I birthed stories that would heal millions, and from the hidden place, I raised him into influence. Do you see? The silence, the lack, the rejection, none of it was wasted. All of it was preparation for the unveiling. What I did for them, I am also doing for you. Your hidden years were not punishment. They were the cocoon from which your destiny now emerges. I call this night a prophetic awakening. It is the moment when what I whispered in your soul becomes a declaration in your life. You have walked in faith when there was no evidence. You have believed when circumstances mocked your belief. And you have trusted when nothing around you gave you reason to. Tonight, I honor that faith. The unseen years are colliding with a visible unveiling. The time of questioning is giving way to the time of confirmation. This is not imagination or coincidence. It is prophecy fulfilled. This is not chance. It is covenant unfolding before your eyes. Do not step timidly into this hour as though you are unworthy or unprepared. I have not hidden you to keep you small. I have hidden you so that when you emerge in authority. Your steps tonight are not shaky with fear, but steady with the seal of heaven. The scrolls of eternity bear your name, and in those scrolls your path has already been written. No rejection could erase it. No betrayal could cancel it. No failure could alter it. I, myself, have sealed your assignment, and tonight I declare it is time to walk in it. You are not coming forth as a beggar looking for approval. You are stepping out as a chosen one, approved, anointed, and appointed by my hand. So lift your head, chosen one, and see what I am doing. What once looked like delay was a divine setup. What once felt like silence was the sound of me writing your story in eternity's ink. The hidden years have passed, and the unveiling has come. Walk forward, not in hesitation, but in holy confidence. For you carry not your own authority, but mine. And when I release you, no force in earth or in hell can stop the rise I have ordained. This is the night of confirmation. This is the hour of unveiling. Step into it with boldness, for I, the Lord your God, have declared it so. Beloved child, what you have endured has not been a verdict of rejection, nor a declaration of denial. The delays you carried upon your shoulders were never my no, but always my not yet. In the silence, you assumed absence, but I was working with precision. In the waiting, you feared abandonment, but I was holding the pen of destiny, writing lines too sacred for you to see until the moment appointed. Do not confuse delay with denial, for I have not withheld from you what I promised. I have preserved it, reserved it, and refined you so that when it comes, it will not crush you, but crown you. Just as gold is tested and purified in fire, so too has your soul been placed in the furnace of affliction. I have allowed you to feel heat that seemed unbearable, to walk through moments when you thought you would melt away. Yet the purpose of that fire was not to destroy, but to remove the dross that clung to your life. The lies, the fears, the false identities, the fragile supports that could never carry the weight of your calling. You thought the flames were punishment, but they were preparation. You mistook the pressure for abandonment. But it was the pressure that forged resilience, humility, and endurance. Look at yourself even now. You are not who you were when the fire first touched you. You are stronger, purer, and sharper, ready to carry a mantle that once would have overwhelmed you. The doors that now begin to open before you are not swinging wide because of your striving or your performance. They are opening because I have chosen this hour. You will not have to force them, plead for them, or break yourself against them. For I am the one turning the hinges. Every locked place that resisted you before is yielding now to the authority of my hand. Do not boast in your effort or your persistence, for it is not your merit that secured these doors. It is my choosing, my covenant, my word spoken before time began. The moments you thought you lost have only set the stage for the entrance I have ordained. Remember my daughter Esther, hidden in the palace, her worth unseen, her identity veiled. She might have believed her presence there was chance. But when the time of destiny came, when the decree was set and her people were under threat, I revealed the purpose of her preparation. Her hidden years were not wasted years, they were essential years. And in one moment of courage, she stepped forward and became the vessel of deliverance for a nation. Do you see? Your hiddenness has not been meaningless. I have been clothing you in wisdom, positioning you in silence, shaping you away from the eyes of those who could never understand. Now, like Esther, you are coming into your appointed time. Do not wait for the applause of men, for you do not need permission to step into what I have already affirmed. You do not require validation from those who doubted you, approval from those who rejected you, or recognition from those who overlooked you. I have stamped my seal upon you. Heaven has already declared your worth. Your authority is not borrowed from human voices. It flows from my spirit within you. Step forward not with trembling insecurity, but with the assurance that you are proved by the King of Kings. Do not diminish yourself to fit the expectations of others. You were not made to shrink. You were created to rise. The shaking you feel in this hour is not designed to topple you, but to release you. Just as Paul and Silas sat in a prison, chained by walls and guarded by men, and suddenly the earth shook with power, so too am I shaking the ground beneath you. When the earthquake came, it did not bury them. It liberated them. The prison doors flew open, and every chain fell away. This is what I am doing in your life. The tremors are not signs of collapse, but signals of freedom. The familiar structures that held you in place are breaking apart, not to leave you stranded, but to remove what can no longer contain you. This is a holy disruption, and though it feels unsettling, it is sacred. I am dismantling the false foundations you leaned upon so I can establish a truer, stronger, unshakable ground beneath your feet. The old mindsets, the unhealthy ties, the patterns of fear and lack, all of these are crumbling so that my glory can take root in you. I am not in the business of small gestures. When I move, creation trembles. And when I speak, atmospheres shift. The shaking you feel is evidence of my nearness, proof that the prison you once called normal is being demolished. Do not resist what feels uncomfortable. Do not cling to what I am pulling away. The things that seem to fall apart are not your undoing. They are your remaking. I am the potter, and you are the clay in my hands. When the vessel is marred, I do not discard it. I reshape it into something greater, something stronger, something more useful for my purpose. And so it is with you. The places where you thought you were disqualified will become the very marks that glorify me. The wounds that once disheartened you will shine as evidence of my healing power. Lift your eyes to see beyond the tremors. The ground beneath you is not collapsing. It is being cleared. I am removing rubble so that new foundations can be laid. I am breaking chains so that freedom can flow unhindered. I am shattering limits so that destiny can stretch without restriction. What you feel is not chaos, it is construction. I am building in you and around you a life that reflects my design, not your striving. Trust what I am doing, even when it feels foreign, for the outcome will carry glory beyond what you can imagine. So embrace the refining, beloved. Do not despise the fire, for it has purified your spirit. Do not resist the shaking, for it has released your chains. The delay has not been a denial. It has been my way of shaping, strengthening, and securing you for this very moment. The doors opening before you are not accidents. They are not coincidences. They are appointments written in heaven's scrolls, reserved for you alone. Walk through them, not with fear, but with faith. Step forward, not as one hoping to be worthy, but as one already chosen, already sealed, already prepared. This is your season of refining and rising. You have not been forgotten in the fire. You have been forged by it. You have not been abandoned in the silence. You have been prepared in it. And now, as the trembling gives way to freedom, as the hidden years give way to unveiling, as the sealed doors give way to openings, I declare over you, rise, rise in the authority I have placed within you. Rise in the freedom I have purchased for you. Rise in the destiny I have written for you. The refining is complete, the shaking is holy, and the unveiling has begun. Lean in and hear my voice, for what I am declaring over you in this moment carries the weight of eternity. The years you thought were stolen, the seasons you believed were wasted, the tears you cried believing they fell into silence, all of it is being redeemed in a single night. What has taken a decade to break you down will take only one divine encounter to lift you up. I am compressing 10 years of preparation, struggle, and longing into one night of acceleration. This is not imagination. This is not exaggeration. This is my decree. I am redeeming the time, and I am restoring to you, in multiplied measure, what the enemy tried to devour. I am not bound by calendars or clocks. My hand moves outside the measures of men. While you have counted the years, I have been counting your faithfulness. And now, in the fullness of my time, I am unfolding a season where what once seemed impossible becomes undeniable. This is the mystery of my grace, that what logic cannot produce, obedience can unlock. It is not your striving that brings this acceleration, it is your surrender. One act of trust, one moment of obedience, one whisper of yes, has the power to usher in a decade of blessing, favor, and breakthrough. Look at my servant Peter. After a long night of failure, with empty nets and weary hands, he obeyed a simple word from my son. Cast your net on the other side. It defied reason. It opposed his logic. But his obedience birthed a miracle so great, the nets could not contain it. Do you see? The harvest came not because of his strategy, but because of his surrender. So it shall be with you. The places where you have labored in vain will suddenly overflow with abundance at my command. What was once empty will be filled, and what was once barren will burst forth with life. Remember also the widow in the days of my prophet. She thought she had nothing left, only a small jar of oil. She believed her story was ending, yet in her obedience to pour, I multiplied what seemed insignificant into an unending flow. What she thought was her last became her beginning. And I tell you, chosen one, that the little you thought remained in your life is enough in my hands to create overflow beyond measure. Your emptiness is about to become your testimony of abundance. This is supernatural acceleration. It is not birthed from human logic, but from divine power. You have tried to calculate, to plan, to reason how the promise could come to pass, and you have found yourself weary. Lay down the need to understand, for I am not moving according to man's reason, but according to heaven's decree. The laws of earth yield to the laws of my spirit. Just as time bends to my will, so will your story bend to my promise. Hear me well. You are not merely being restored, you are being accelerated. You will not just catch up to what was lost, you will overtake it. You will not just recover what was stolen, you will reap beyond measure. The enemy who thought he delayed you will watch as you surpass every limitation he set. The years that were consumed by despair, poverty, fear, and silence are being returned to you with interest. What once seemed like an endless wilderness is transforming into a land of milk and honey. And I say to you now, enough. Enough of the cycle of suffering. Enough of the chains that bound you. Enough of the burdens that broke you. Just as I declared enough to the cries of my people in Egypt, I am declaring it over you now. Tonight marks the end of captivity. The weight that sat upon your shoulders for years is being broken in a single moment. Do not expect a gradual release, for I move suddenly. Just as the Red Sea parted at the lifting of Moses' staff, so I am splitting the obstacles before you. What seemed impassable will open not over time, but immediately. What blocked you for years will crumble in an instant. This is your Exodus moment, just as I led my people out of bondage, carrying silver and gold, stepping into freedom with heads lifted high. So too am I leading you out of the captivity that held you. You will not leave empty-handed. You will not walk away limping and broken. You will step forth whole, supplied, restored, and ready to enter the land of promise. The pharaohs that once oppressed you will no longer hold authority over your future. The chains of your past will lie shattered in the dust, never to be fastened upon you again. So rise in expectation. Do not cling to the wilderness when the sea is parting before your eyes. Do not look back at what was when I am leading you into what is. The night of despair is ending, and the dawn of destiny is breaking forth. What you thought required another decade will unfold swiftly, for I am redeeming the time. You will look back and scarcely believe how quickly the tide turned, how suddenly the walls fell, how immediately the breakthrough appeared. Take this moment seriously. Treat it as sacred. For when I move, it is not small, and when I declare, it is not tentative. This acceleration is not to be explained, it is to be received. You are not entering a gradual shift, you are stepping into a divine takeover. The harvest that once seemed distant is rushing toward you. The promises that felt delayed are colliding with your present. And the blessings that were withheld are pouring out in measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one, this is the hour where obedience meets acceleration. This is the night where faith collides with fulfillment. The wilderness season has ended, the burden has been lifted, and the gates of your exodus have opened wide. Do not hesitate. Do not fear. Walk forward boldly, for I, the Lord your God, am redeeming your time and crowning your obedience with abundance. This is your moment of supernatural acceleration, and nothing in heaven or on earth can stop what I have ordained. Beloved child, hear me clearly. Every sorrow, every betrayal, every loss you have endured is about to be reversed. What the enemy intended for your destruction will become the very platform for your rising. The pain you thought would bury you will now testify of my power to redeem. I do not waste your suffering. I transform it. Every tear you have shed, every wound you have carried in silence, every season of emptiness has been recorded in my book. And now I will turn them into public evidence of my glory. The ashes you carried will become crowns, and the shame that tried to silence you will be exchanged for joy that cannot be hidden. You are the stone that was rejected, but now I make you the cornerstone. The voices that mocked you, the hands that cast you aside, the people who overlooked your value, they did not see what I had placed within you. Yet rejection was never the end of your story. It was the setting of the stage for your unveiling. What was once dismissed will now be demanded. The very ones who said you would not rise will watch as I exalt you in their presence. Not for your boasting, but for my glory. For I take what the world discards and I crown it with purpose. You are proof that I choose the weak to shame the strong, the overlooked to confound the proud. This reversal is not subtle, it is sacred. I am not simply mending what was broken. I am turning every evil assignment into undeniable testimony. The betrayal that pierced your heart will now reveal the depth of your resilience. The loss that crushed your spirit will now become the soil of your harvest. The delay that mocked your faith will now shine as the stage of my perfect timing. You will stand as living evidence that I alone hold the power to take what was meant for harm and weave it into good. Do not despise the darkness you have walked through, for it will make the light of your breakthrough impossible to ignore. And I tell you this, the reversal will not be spiritual alone. It will touch every part of your life. Financial lack that once drained you will give way to provision that sustains and overflows. The strategies you need, the ideas that seemed locked, the opportunities that felt distant, I am releasing them now from my hand. Philippians 4:19 declares that I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory in Christ Jesus. Hear me. Not according to the economy, not according to the opinions of others, but according to my limitless glory. I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider. I am not sending you scraps, I am sending you sufficiency and overflow. The provision I give will not only restore what was lost, but will fuel the vision I placed in your spirit. Do not fear the future, for I am equipping you with more than money. I am placing strategies in your mind, clarity in your decisions, and ideas that will outlast you. What you thought was only survival will now turn into legacy. The visions you buried because of lack will live again, not in fragments, but in fullness. This is not random. This is reversal. Remember Hannah, who wept bitterly in the temple. Her cries misunderstood, her longing ridiculed. She was barren and broken, mocked by those around her. Yet in the secret place of surrender, I heard her cry, and I gave her Samuel, a son who would shift the destiny of a nation. Do you see? What she thought was shame became salvation. What she thought was an ending became the seed of a beginning far greater than she imagined. And so it will be with you. The prayers you prayed through tears, the petitions you made in silence. I have heard them all. And now I bring forth answers so visible, so undeniable, they will silence every doubt. But I warn you, do not seek revenge. Do not waste your energy trying to repay those who wronged you. Leave that to me. Romans 12:19 reminds you, "It is mine to avenge. I will repay," says the Lord. You do not need to fight small battles when I am waging war on your behalf. The ones who slandered you will see my hand elevate you. The ones who betrayed you will watch as I bless you. Your vindication will not come through your hands, but through mine. So rise above bitterness. Walk in grace. Let your testimony speak louder than your anger. When I lift you, it will be so evident that even your enemies will bow to the reality that I was with you all along. Understand this also. The reward I am releasing is not just for you. It is for generations. The seeds you have sown in tears will blossom into a harvest that your children and your children's children will eat from. Your endurance has purchased peace for your bloodline. Your faith has carved out a pathway for those who come after you. Where you endured lack, they will walk in abundance. Where you carried shame, they will carry honor. Where you fought battles unseen, they will walk in victory already secured. This is the inheritance of the faithful, that your endurance produces blessing not only for you, but for all who follow. So stand tall, chosen one. Lift your eyes and recognize the holy reversal that is unfolding. The past will no longer define you. The pain will no longer confine you. You are stepping into a season where the very things that broke you will become the proof of my power in you. I am turning the page, rewriting the chapter, and placing a crown where ashes once sat. Do not shrink back in doubt. Do not question if you are worthy. You are mine, and I have decreed this reversal. What was stolen will be returned. What was lost will be multiplied, and what was denied will now be displayed. Walk in it, for this is your portion, and it is sealed in heaven's decree. Beloved child, let your heart lean close to my voice, for what I am unveiling now carries the weight of eternity. The rise I am declaring over you is not small, and it will not be silent. It is not a whisper hidden in a corner, nor a quiet advancement unseen by others. It is a rise that will echo across atmospheres, ripple through nations, and touch lives far beyond what you can imagine. This elevation has been prepared in the secret place, refined in the fire, and sealed in the courts of heaven. Now, at my appointed time, it will come forth with clarity, with boldness, and with a reach that no force in earth or in hell can resist. Do not underestimate what I am doing. The advancement set before you is not limited to local influence, nor is it bound by the borders of your own understanding. It is global in scope, prophetic in weight, and eternal in impact. You may feel small compared to the vastness of the world, but I am the one who magnifies what is yielded into my hands. What you surrender to me multiplies, and what I touch cannot remain hidden. I have prepared you in silence so that when I reveal you, the unveiling will bear fruit in places you have never stepped and in people you have never met. No enemy can undo what I have written. No critic can silence what I have ordained. No betrayal can cancel what I sealed before time began. My promise stands. What I open, no man can shut. And what I shut, no man can open. This is the decree of Revelation 3:7, and it rests upon your life tonight. The doors that swing wide now are not man-made doors, nor are they controlled by human hands. They are kingdom doors, established by my authority, and once they open, no voice, no strategy, no power can shut them. The hidden years were not wasted. They were the furnace where I shaped you. They were the quiet valleys where I trained your heart, the silent nights where I tuned your spirit to hear my whisper. Do not despise the seasons where you felt unseen, for they were not punishment. They were preparation. I hid you so that pride would not consume you. I kept you in silence so that humility would anchor you. And now, when I lift you into visibility, the weight of your character will sustain the reach of your influence. Hiddenness was never rejection. It was refinement for the unveiling that is now at hand. Hear the words of Isaiah 61 that I speak over you. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You have lived under shadows, but now you will walk in radiance. My glory upon you will not be dim, it will be unmistakable. The nations will see it. Even those who once doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge the brightness of what I place upon you. This is not human light. It is my glory, and when it shines, it cannot be hidden. Consider those whose stories mirror this truth. Howard Schultz grew up in poverty, surrounded by scarcity and struggle. Yet in the fullness of time, I breathed vision into him that would touch the world. What seemed like humble beginnings became the foundation for influence that reached across nations. Or think of my servant T.D. Jakes, who once preached in small storefronts, overlooked and under-resourced. He carried sermons in obscurity long before he carried them to millions. His rise was not man's invention. It was my timing. What the world now sees as prominence was first forged in silence, in faithfulness, in hidden obedience. These examples are not to glorify men, but to remind you of my pattern. I raise the lowly, I lift the humble, I crown the overlooked. And when I do, the purpose is never fame. It is always to display my power. This rise you are stepping into is not for your name to be magnified, but for mine. Do not confuse promotion with personal achievement. What is happening is not about building your reputation. It is about revealing my sovereignty. The influence I give you is not a stage for pride, but a platform for testimony. Understand this. When I lift you, it will not be for applause. It will be to reveal my glory through your life. When your name is spoken in rooms you never entered, when opportunities arrive that you never sought, when influence reaches further than you imagined, know this. It is not your strategy. It is my spirit. I am making you a vessel, a carrier of light, a living demonstration of what I can do with a yielded life. The rise is not yours to boast about. It is mine to display. And do not fear the magnitude of what I am calling you into. You may feel unqualified, but I am the one who qualifies. You may feel too fragile, but I am your strength. The assignment is larger than you because it was never meant to be sustained by you alone. My spirit will carry what your hands cannot. My presence will open what your efforts could not. This is how the world will know it is me, because the outcome will exceed your capacity. Beloved, the hour of unveiling has come. The sound of this promotion is not a faint whisper. It is a roar. It will echo in places you never planned to enter. It will ripple through families, communities, and nations. And when they ask how it happened, when they marvel at how you rose, your only answer will be, the hand of God did this. That answer alone will carry more weight than any sermon, for your life itself will become the evidence that I still lift the lowly, still exalt the humble, still fulfill promises spoken in silence. So prepare yourself, not with anxiety, but with expectation. Do not shrink in fear when the spotlight shifts, for you were not made to hide forever. You were hidden to be revealed. You were prepared to be positioned. You were refined to carry the weight of this hour. The doors are open, the light is shining, and the influence is stretching. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and my glory rises upon you. This is the command of Isaiah 61, and I breathe it over you now. No more hiding, no more shrinking, no more silence. The light upon you will not dim. It will blaze with the weight of my glory. Nations will take notice. Leaders will take note. Generations will be touched because of the mantle I am placing upon your life. You are not stepping into a small role. You are stepping into a divine assignment that carries global weight. My child, hear me clearly, for the words I speak now are not ordinary. They are life, freedom, and truth. This is the moment where I take away every false staff you once leaned upon. The things you thought would sustain you, the people you believed would affirm you, the systems you trusted to uphold you. They were never designed to carry you into your destiny. I am stripping them away, not to leave you empty, but to make you whole. For too long you sought approval from voices that could not see your value, leaned on supports that crumbled beneath your weight, and tied your identity to affirmations that were never meant to define you. Tonight, those false crutches break, and I place your weight back on me alone. Do you not see, beloved, that you were never meant to survive on borrowed strength? You were never meant to beg for worthiness from those who did not hold your future. You are mine. You were not created to be validated by the applause of man. You were designed to stand upright, secured by my spirit, anchored in my truth. The fragile reeds that pierced your hand, the counterfeit supports that weakened your stride, I am removing them. For you cannot step into this new season leaning on what was never meant to carry you. You are not a victim of your past. You are not a casualty of betrayal. You are not defined by the losses that wounded you or the mistakes that marked you. You are not a product of failure. You are my vessel. Do you understand what that means? A vessel does not define itself by its cracks or its scars, but by the hands of the potter who shapes it. And I, the eternal potter, have placed you on my wheel. I have molded you through fire, refined you through storms, and strengthened you through silence. Every pressure, every season of stretching, every hidden year was not wasted. It was my shaping. You are not fragile clay discarded on the ground. You are a chosen vessel designed for my glory. Your weakness, beloved, was never in your spirit. It was in your attachments. You tied your worth to people who were not anointed to carry your future. You chained your identity to environments too small for your destiny. But now I am cutting those cords. I am severing every unholy tie. The rope that bound you to fear, the knot that kept you tethered to rejection, the chain that forced you to shrink for others' comfort. All of it breaks tonight. I am loosing you from the need to be validated by man, so that you can stand secure in the seal of heaven. This is your Independence Day, a holy declaration of freedom. You will not walk forward carrying the weight of yesterday's shame. You will not drag the chains of insecurity into tomorrow's promise. You will not bow to fear or timidity, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. From this moment, step as one delivered. Walk as one liberated. Live as one who knows that chains no longer bind and cages no longer confine. Do you not feel it? The breath of freedom rising in your lungs, the courage stirring in your heart, the boldness strengthening your stride. You are no longer the one overlooked, hidden in the shadows of doubt. You are no longer the one silenced by insecurity or diminished by shame. I call you forth as my vessel, chosen to carry my glory, released to walk in freedom. And this freedom touches every part of your life. I am not only restoring your soul, I am restructuring your world. Relationships will be purified, no longer draining but strengthening. Finances will be replenished, no longer scarce but overflowing. Health will be renewed, no longer fragile but resilient. Influence will be expanded, no longer overlooked but undeniable. Where there was confusion, I am bringing clarity. Where there was lack, I am releasing abundance. Where there was brokenness, I am speaking wholeness. Every area of your life is being restructured in alignment with my purpose. This is not patchwork restoration. This is complete reinvention. Hear my word from Isaiah chapter 43, 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Beloved, I am not simply returning what was lost. I am birthing something entirely new. The old framework will not remain. The old systems will not stand. The old definitions will not fit. I am reinventing your life, your identity, and your destiny. Look to my servant Job, who endured unspeakable loss, whose days were filled with silence and questions. Yet when the time was complete, I restored him with double. Job 42:10 declares, "The Lord restored the fortunes of Job and gave him twice as much as he had before." I speak that same decree over you tonight. This is your job season. What the enemy stripped away will return multiplied. What grief consumed will be swallowed in joy. What despair tried to bury will rise again with abundance. Beloved, this is more than recovery. It is reinvention. You will not return to the version of yourself that existed before the storm. You will not be who you once were. The fire has refined you too deeply. The silence has shaped you too powerfully. The waiting has matured you too fully. You are stepping out as someone new. Not a reprint of the old, but a creation born again in strength, wisdom, and anointing. The old you carried fear, but the new you carries faith. The old you sought approval, but the new you knows you are already sealed. The old you questioned your worth, but the new you walks in authority. This reinvention is not cosmetic, it is foundational. It rewrites your identity from the roots upward. You are no longer a shadow of survival. You are a vessel of glory, anointed and appointed for such a time as this. And as I reinvent you, I also reinvent the landscape around you. The tables you once feared to sit at, you will now command with honor. The doors you once thought closed forever, I will open with ease. The rooms that once dismissed you will now seek your presence. And yet, beloved, you will not walk in arrogance. You will walk in humility, knowing that every rise is for my glory and every promotion is for my purpose. Do not fear the scale of what I am doing. Do not shrink from the weight of the mantle I place upon you. It is not meant to crush you. It is meant to reveal me through you. The influence I give is not for vanity. It is for impact. The authority I release is not for applause. It is for transformation. And the legacy I build through you will not end with you. It will flow to generations after you. So step boldly, vessel of my spirit. This is the hour where I redefine who you are. Not a victim, but a victor. Not abandoned, but anointed. Not silenced, but sent. Not merely restored, but reinvented. You will carry double for your trouble, abundance for your lack, clarity for your confusion, and joy for your sorrow. Do you believe it, beloved? Do you sense the chains falling, the crutches breaking, the old garments slipping off? This is the shift you have prayed for. This is the freedom you longed for. This is the reinvention that heaven has written for you, for you. Walk in it, live in it, breathe in it, for this is your new identity, and nothing will ever be the same again. Beloved child, let your heart hear my voice with reverence and receive this truth with faith. The pain you endured, the scars you carry, the wounds that once burned with shame, they are no longer your chains. They are your crowns. What once humiliated you will now honor you. What once whispered defeat will now roar of my victory. The very places where you bled in silence will become platforms where my glory is revealed openly. Do not hide your scars, for they are not signs of weakness. They are proofs of survival, testimonies of triumph, and holy evidence that I was with you in every fire and storm. Your scars are not a disgrace. They are sacred markings of endurance, signs that you were preserved when others thought you would not make it. And now I turn them into crowns, visible symbols of resilience that cannot be denied. Just as I turned the cross, an instrument of death and humiliation, into the eternal symbol of life and salvation, I am turning what once broke you into what now elevates you. The broken bread fed multitudes. The pierced Savior redeemed the world. The shattered vessel poured out the richest oil. Likewise, your brokenness will release glory, and your scars will shine with authority. Think of my daughters who walked through fire and now stand as voices across the nations. Lisa Bevere bore the weight of shame and fear, yet I lifted her voice to echo strength and truth to generations. Christine Kane, once marked by rejection and abuse, rose to break chains of human trafficking and proclaim freedom worldwide. Joyce Meyer carried wounds of trauma and silence, yet I transformed her pain into a message of healing that has reached millions. Their pasts did not disqualify them. Their scars became their platforms. And so it is with you. What the enemy meant for evil, I am turning for good, for influence, and for impact. Beloved, every false label that was placed upon you, too broken, too late, too unworthy, is being stripped away. No longer will you be defined by what others said. No longer will you carry the names that shame attached to you. I am removing those labels and clothing you in your true identity. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are chosen, beloved, anointed, and sealed. You are a son, a daughter, and an heir with Christ. You walk not in rags of rejection, but in robes of righteousness. You do not beg for a place at the table. You sit as an heir at the table of the King. Do you see it now? The inheritance I give you is not fragile, nor is it conditional on man's approval. You are co-heir with Christ, and with that inheritance comes authority, dominion, and access. You are not stepping timidly into this new season. You are stepping boldly, crowned with wisdom, clothed in favor, and armed with my Spirit. Every scar you bear has been redeemed. Every tear you shed has been collected. Every silent prayer has been answered in the courts of heaven. And now I decree, it is time to walk as the heir you are. Understand this, beloved. I use brokenness as raw material for greatness. The cross was rough wood, splintered and stained with blood, yet it became the throne of salvation. The loaves and fish were broken before they multiplied to feed the multitude. The alabaster jar was shattered before the fragrance filled the room. Do not despise the breaking seasons, for they were never designed to destroy you. They were designed to release what was hidden within you. The fragrance of your calling, the abundance of your gifting, the weight of your authority, all of it was pressed out through breaking. And now the breaking is complete. What was hidden will no longer be concealed. I am unveiling you. I am removing the veil of silence, the covering of shame, the cloak of invisibility. No longer hidden, no longer overlooked, no longer ignored. You will rise with authority and walk in assignment. I did not preserve you through the storm to keep you invisible. I preserved you so that when the time came, your testimony would carry undeniable weight. And now the time has come. Step forth, not in trembling, but in authority. Step forth, not with apology, but with boldness. Step forth, for you are appointed, anointed, and released. The scars that once silenced you will now speak louder than any accusation. The pain that once made you withdraw will now propel you into purpose. The rejection that once made you question your worth will now affirm your calling. Everything the enemy thought would bury you has become the seedbed of resurrection. You are not emerging as a victim. You are emerging as a vessel. You are not rising with excuses. You are rising with evidence. And this evidence is undeniable. You are mine, you are chosen, and you are crowned. Beloved, this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your reign. The crown I place upon your head is not symbolic only. It is authority made visible. You will carry influence in places where once you carried shame. You will carry power in areas where once you carried pain. And your story will not only lift you, it will lift others. For your scars are not for you alone. They are for the generations who will find healing in your testimony. This is why I allowed the breaking. This is why I permitted the pain. Because from the ashes of your struggle, I am raising a testimony that cannot be silenced. From the wounds of your battle, I am forging a crown that cannot be stolen. From the depths of your sorrow, I am birthing a joy that cannot be denied. And when others see you, they will not only see what you endured, they will see who preserved you. They will say, "Surely the hand of God was with them." Do not shrink back, beloved. Do not fear the weight of visibility. Do not hide your scars any longer, for they are no longer marks of shame. They are marks of glory. Walk boldly into the calling that has been written for you. Step with confidence into the destiny that has been prepared for you. This is the hour where I turn pain into power, wounds into wisdom, scars into crowns. You are no longer hidden. You are revealed. You are no longer disqualified. You are appointed. You are no longer bound. You are sent. Rise, my vessel, for this is your hour of victory. From suffering to triumph, from scars to crowns, from silence to authority. You are walking into the fullness of who I always destined you to be. And nothing, no one, and no force in hell can reverse what I have decreed. Beloved child, open your heart and lean close, for this is not an ordinary moment. Tonight is not simply another turning of the page or the dawn of another chapter. Tonight is a divine activation. It is the appointed night in which what was long delayed is suddenly released, and what was buried deep is now resurrected into fullness. Tonight I am not merely adjusting your path, I am shifting the entire trajectory of your destiny. What once seemed unmovable will move. What once seemed sealed forever will burst open. This is the night that marks you, not for a moment, but for eternity. For you have asked if one night can truly change a lifetime. You have wondered if the weight of 10 years of waiting, striving, and enduring can be lifted in a single breath. And I answer you now. Yes, one night in my hands outweighs a decade of effort in your own strength. What you could not accomplish through striving, what you could not build through endless labor, I release in one divine decree. The power of a single encounter with me is greater than the sum of years lived without me. When I move, I redeem time itself. Tonight I speak, and 10 years of pain are swallowed in one wave of breakthrough. This is not poetry. This is reality. For I am the Lord of time, and I hold your seasons in my hand. What was lost, what was delayed, what was stolen, I redeem it now. Do you not remember that I am the God who multiplies moments? Did I not show it in the life of Joseph, who in one day moved from prisoner to ruler? Did I not prove it when Esther, in one night of courage, shifted the fate of her nation? And did I not demonstrate it when Paul and Silas, singing at midnight, saw chains fall and doors fling wide? Beloved, tonight is your midnight moment. Tonight chains break, doors open, and the course of your destiny changes irreversibly. I remind you of my word in Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. And I declare to you, this is your proper time. This is your due season. Every prayer whispered in the dark, every seed sown in tears, every moment you chose obedience over compromise, it has been counted, and it has reached maturity. The harvest is here. What you thought was forgotten is now remembered, and what you thought was denied is now delivered. You have endured seasons of weariness. You have labored in faith when no fruit was visible. You have persevered when others mocked, resisted, and abandoned you. And yet, you did not surrender. Beloved, I have seen your steadfastness. I have heard your cries. And now I declare that your faith has not been in vain. The delay was not denial, it was preparation. And tonight, the preparation meets manifestation. This is the convergence of your faith and my timing, and it will not be reversed. Know this, what I release tonight is not fragile, nor is it fleeting. It is irreversible. The enemy cannot undo it. Critics cannot silence it, and fear cannot steal it. What I decree becomes permanent, for my word never returns void. When I open a door, no man can shut it. When I declare blessing, no curse can cancel it. When I pour favor, no drought can withhold it. This night establishes a new order in your life, one that cannot be overturned by circumstance or opposition. Do not measure this moment by the natural. Do not weigh it against your logic or your past experiences, for this is not a human shift, it is a heavenly one. Tonight I am placing my hand upon your story, rewriting what was meant for harm and inscribing destiny with my own signature. You will look back and know with certainty, this was the night everything changed. And understand, beloved, this change is not for you alone. Yes, you will taste the fruit, you will see the increase, and you will walk in the joy of answered prayers. But the blessing I release tonight is generational. What I pour upon you will flow to your children, your children's children, and beyond. Your faithfulness today becomes their foundation tomorrow. The harvest of your endurance becomes the inheritance of your descendants. For I am the God who multiplies blessings through generations. I promised Abraham that his faith would bless nations. I promised David that his throne would endure through his descendants. And I promise you now that the obedience you have sown will ripple beyond your lifetime. The freedom I release in you will break chains for those who come after you. The provision I grant will provide for their future. The authority I place on you will shift your bloodline forever. This night is not only about your rise, it is about the rise of generations. Do not underestimate the weight of this. Your children will walk in peace because you stood in faith. Your grandchildren will inherit joy because you endured sorrow with worship. Your family will reap abundance because you chose obedience in scarcity. Psalm 112:2-3 declares, "Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in their houses, and their righteousness endures forever." This word is for you. Your legacy begins tonight. Consider how I lifted my servant Tyler Perry. He once dwelled in obscurity, homeless, unseen, and dismissed. Yet in due season, I raised him to influence, impact, and abundance. His rise was not by accident. It was by divine orchestration. His faith in the dark became the foundation of his platform in the light. And so it will be for you. The hidden years have not been wasted. They have been preparation. And now the light shines, not for your fame, but for my glory. So hear me now, beloved. Tonight, your rise begins. Not tomorrow, not someday far away, but now. This night carries the weight of destiny. This night carries the signature of heaven. This night carries the authority of eternity. The enemy thought he had stolen too much, delayed too long, broken too deeply. But what he forgot is that I am the Redeemer of time, the Restorer of years, the God of sudden shifts. And tonight I decree, the tide turns, the tables flip, and the irreversible shift begins. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of what is happening. You may feel the tremble beneath your feet, the unfamiliar weight of new authority, the holy disruption of old structures crumbling. Do not fear it. This shaking is not your undoing. It is your remaking. It is the breaking of chains, the dismantling of lies, the tearing down of barriers. For I am making space for what I am pouring out, and what I pour cannot be contained by the old vessels of yesterday. Walk boldly into this moment. Do not shrink, do not apologize, do not doubt. You are not walking by your own power, you are carried by my Spirit. You are not stepping into an uncertain path. You are stepping into a destiny already written in heaven's scrolls. Every yes you whispered in the silence, every surrender you offered in the shadows, it has brought you here. And now I release you, not cautiously, but fully, into the promise. Beloved, this night is irreversible. It cannot be undone, it cannot be revoked, and it cannot be silenced. You will never go back to who you were. You will never be bound by what once held you. You will never again live beneath the weight of delay and denial. Tonight, I decree freedom, favor, and fulfillment. Tonight, I crown you with victory and clothe you with authority. Tonight, I declare, it is finished, it is done, it is released. So let your spirit rise. Let your heart rejoice. Let your soul embrace this truth. One night in my presence is greater than 10 years of striving. This is your due season, your appointed hour, your irreversible shift. The night of destiny is here, and nothing will ever be the same again. My beloved child, you are no longer merely surviving. You are no longer dragging yourself through seasons as one barely holding on. The hour of survival has ended, and the dawn of dominion has come. You will not crawl into your future, you will rule in it. You will not simply stand as one who endured, you will walk as one who governs. I did not preserve you through storms, only to see you remain timid. I preserved you so that when the time came, you would step into the fullness of authority I ordained for you. This is the divine exchange I promised long ago. I trade your ashes for beauty. I take your mourning and give you joy. I remove the spirit of despair and clothe you with garments of praise. My word in Isaiah 61:3 has always stood true, and tonight it is fulfilled in you. I bestow upon you a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. What once defined you no longer remains. You will not be remembered for the ashes of your pain, but for the beauty of my restoration. You will not be marked by sorrow, but by joy that cannot be shaken. Understand this clearly, beloved. Your scars are not signs of weakness, but emblems of authority. They are no longer reminders of defeat. They are scepters placed in your hand. Just as a king's staff signifies rulership, so your scars signify dominion. They declare to every force of darkness that you endured, that you overcame, and that you carry an authority forged in fire. What once silenced you now amplifies you. What once humiliated you now honors you. For I have turned what the enemy sought to destroy into the very evidence of your calling. Think of my servant Joyce Meyer. Her past was marked by brokenness, yet her scars became her testimony, and her testimony became her authority. She now speaks into nations with power because her pain was transformed into a platform. So it will be with you. Your scars are not wasted. They are anointing poured out. They are weight given to your words. They are evidence that when you speak, it is not theory, but truth birthed from survival, redemption, and transformation. And this truth carries authority that cannot be denied. I am awakening within you the gifts that lay dormant. The voice you once silenced is rising with power. The purpose you buried beneath fear is being resurrected. The dreams you thought were lost are stirring again with holy fire. Do not say they are too old, too late, or too far gone. For when I breathe upon dry bones, they live again. When I call forth what was buried, it rises with greater strength. Your gifts are not expired. They are refined. Your calling is not diminished. It is matured. What I placed within you will not return to the ground unused. Beloved, step boldly into this new posture. You do not need permission from man to walk in what heaven has already affirmed. You do not require validation from critics to move in authority. You do not wait for applause before you rise. You act when I speak. You move when I command. You walk when I call. This is not arrogance, it is obedience. This is not pride, it is identity. You are mine and you carry my seal. When I say rise, no one can hold you down. When I say speak, no voice can silence you. When I say move, no barrier can restrain you. For too long you questioned if you were worthy, if you were qualified. if you were ready. Hear me. You are worthy because I chose you. You are qualified because I anointed you. You are ready because I refined you. You are not stepping forward because of man's approval, but because heaven's decree demands it. You are not acting on your own behalf, but on my behalf. And when you walk under my authority, all of heaven walks with you. You are called to be light, and light does not apologize for shining. You are a city set on a hill, and a city does not hide its walls. You are a lamp placed upon a stand, and a lamp does not beg to illuminate. It simply shines. So too must you shine, not to exalt yourself, but to reveal me. Not to build your fame, but to display my glory. Not to glorify your past, but to magnify my redemption. This is your mantle, to rise as light in a world that has known too much darkness. Step into influence without fear. For influence in my kingdom is not about popularity. It is about responsibility. It is about carrying the weight of truth, the fire of testimony, the authority of my spirit. And I have deemed you ready. Every hidden season was preparing you for this. Every silent battle was equipping you. Every unseen act of obedience was building the foundation of influence you will now walk in. Do not despise the shaking you feel even now. For this shaking is not destruction, it is construction. It is the rearranging of your foundation, the clearing of old debris, the tearing down of walls that limited you. Just as Paul and Silas saw an earthquake that broke chains but did not collapse their prison, so too the tremors you feel are not your collapse, but your release. The shaking is heaven's announcement. The chains are gone, the gates are open. The authority is yours. Beloved, I call you forth now as one who rules. You will speak and atmospheres will shift. You will move and territories will respond. You will declare and mountains will tremble. Not because of who you are in the natural, but because of who I am in you. My spirit within you is power, and that power cannot be resisted. My seal upon you is authority, and that authority cannot be revoked. This is your mantle. This is your moment. Step into dominion. No longer bow to fear. No longer hide in shame. No longer shrink to fit into places too small for your calling. Lift your head, for I crown you with glory. Strengthen your stride, for I clothe you with authority. Open your mouth, for I fill it with my word. And walk forward, for I send you not as a survivor, but as a ruler. Your scars are your scepter. Your wounds are your witness. Your past is your platform, and your future is your dominion. Walk as one who knows this truth. Live as one who embodies this identity. Declare as one who carries this authority, and never again question what I have already confirmed. You are mine, you are chosen, you are crowned, and you are sent. This is your declaration, beloved, not whispered in doubt, but shouted in confidence, not hidden in shame, but revealed in glory. You are not surviving, you are reigning. You are not forgotten, you are chosen. You are not timid, you are bold. And from this night forward, you will not walk as a shadow of who you were, but as the fullness of who I created you to be. Beloved, I am opening doors for you that no man can shut. These doors are not man-made, nor are they subject to the approval of systems, institutions, or critics. They are kingdom doors, carved by my hand and sealed by my authority. When I open, there is no power on earth or in hell that can close. No whisper of opposition, no structure of resistance, No shadow of doubt has the authority to overturn what I have set in motion. These doors are reserved for you, and they are opening now. The time of wondering if you were forgotten is over. You were never abandoned. You were never overlooked. You were not bypassed. You were reserved. Just as David tended sheep in the fields while others sat at the table of consideration, so I have kept you in the hidden places, not as rejection, but as preparation. The years of obscurity were not punishment, but protection. I shielded you from premature exposure. I guarded you from voices that would have misused your gift. And now, when the time is right, I unveil you with authority. What was hidden is now revealed, and what was reserved is now released. This is why I declare to you Isaiah 61 in this very hour. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You will no longer walk in the dimness of obscurity. The light of my glory is upon you, and it is undeniable. It will shine through your words, your actions, your presence. It will not be a light that can be ignored. Even those who once mocked you, even those who dismissed you, will have no choice but to witness what I have placed upon you. They will see with their own eyes what I have written in heaven's scrolls. Beloved, understand this clearly. Those who laughed at your waiting will watch your revealing. Those who ridiculed your faith will witness your fulfillment. Those who doubted your calling will see the evidence of my anointing. I do not elevate to prove your worth to them. I elevate to prove my faithfulness to you. But the byproduct is this: they will have no choice but to acknowledge that what I began in you could only have been sustained by me. Do not shrink back now. Do not play small to make others comfortable. Do not wait for permission to walk through what I have opened. You have been anointed to step into these doors, not timidly, but with holy confidence. To walk hesitantly is to doubt my word. To delay is to dishonor my timing. Beloved, the doors are open. Walk boldly. For this is not a minor adjustment. This is not a subtle change. This is not a small opportunity. This is a divine takeover. What I am doing in your life will not whisper. It will thunder. It will not fade into obscurity. It will be seen and known, not for the sake of your name, but for the sake of mine. When I take over, atmospheres shift, systems realign, structures bow. When I take over, what was once considered impossible becomes undeniable. You will not merely enter rooms, you will carry influence within them. You will not simply sit at tables, you will shift the conversation within them. You will not just receive opportunities, you will become the opportunity others seek. Consider those I have raised before you as signs of what I am capable of doing. Nelson Mandela, once silenced, imprisoned, and mocked, became the voice of a nation's freedom. What was meant to bury him only prepared him to lead with authority. The very prison that was meant to define his end became the backdrop for his beginning. And when the time came, his revealing shook the world. Consider Bishop Vashti McKenzie, who rose in a space where women's voices were often silenced, where leadership was denied to them, yet I appointed her, I affirmed her, and I released her as the first woman bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Her rise was not by man's permission, but by my commission. Her influence broke ceilings for generations to come, and her authority stood as proof that I choose whom I will, and none can reverse it. Beloved, do you not see? You stand in the same pattern of grace. You are not rising for yourself alone. Your elevation is not about comfort, but about calling. When you step through these open doors, others will follow. When you embrace your place of dominion, others will be freed to embrace theirs. When you shine, others will find courage to shine as well. This is bigger than you. It is about legacy. It is about impact. It is about the divine ripple that flows from one obedient life. So I tell you again, do not play small. Do not delay. Do not hesitate. For hesitation in this hour is agreement with fear, and fear has no place in the one I have anointed. When you step boldly, you declare not only your faith, but my faithfulness. When you move forward, you announce to the heavens and to the earth that what I open cannot be closed, and what I release cannot be restrained. Every gift I placed within you is awakening now. The voice that was once silenced is being amplified. The ideas that once seemed distant are manifesting. The call that once felt unreachable is now within your grasp. You will find doors opening that you did not even knock on. You will see opportunities emerging that you did not pursue. Because this is not about your striving, it is about my sovereignty. The doors I open are not random, they are strategic. They align with your purpose, your preparation, and your prophetic destiny. Even now I am aligning relationships, connections, and resources. People you have not met yet are being stirred to favor you. Rooms you have not entered yet are speaking your name. Conversations are unfolding that include you, though you are not present. This is the orchestration of heaven. Do not doubt it. Do not belittle it, and do not waste it. Walk into it with boldness, humility, and readiness. For I am setting the stage for a takeover that only I could design. This is not a takeover of arrogance or force. It is a takeover of truth, light, and glory. It is the kingdom advancing through your obedience. It is the manifestation of what I promised long ago. I told you that the last would be first, and you are living in that reversal. I told you that those hidden would be revealed, and you are walking in that unveiling. I told you that those overlooked would be elevated, and you are stepping into that reality. Beloved, I say it again, arise, shine. Do not dim the light I placed in you. Do not question the timing I have ordained. Do not shrink back when the world finally sees what I have always known about you. Walk as one sent, not as one seeking validation. Live as one chosen, not as one begging for approval. Declare as one appointed, not as one waiting for applause. The doors are open. The release is here. The takeover has begun. And when you walk through, remember this. It is not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. Your success is not measured in applause, but in obedience. Your influence is not secured by men, but by me. Your legacy will not be built on striving, but on surrender. I open, I release, I elevate. And what I do, no one can undo. So tonight I declare over you, step forward, take your place, embrace your authority. Do not look back. Do not apologize. Do not delay. For this is not a minor shift. This is a divine takeover. And you, my beloved, are at the very center of it. Beloved child, hear this with clarity. Your brokenness was never your burial. It was your birthplace. The enemy wanted you to believe that the shattered places of your life were the end, that the wounds you carried marked your disqualification. But I tell you, they were never meant to bury you. They were meant to birth you. What was broken in your hands has always been whole in mine. What seemed like the end was the beginning of something far greater than you imagined. Do you see how I work? I use broken things to reveal my power. I used the rough cross, stained with blood and shame, to redeem the world. I used broken bread and fish to feed thousands. I used jars shattered and poured out to release fragrance that filled the room. Do not despise your breaking, for it has been the very tool by which my glory will be revealed. Your pain is not wasted. Your tears are not forgotten. Every crack, every scar, every fracture has been infused with purpose. You will stand as living evidence that grace is real. No one will need to be convinced by argument, because your life itself will be the testimony. The transformation in you will silence the critic and inspire the weary. The very people who doubted you, who said you would not rise again, will see you stand clothed in strength and humility, carrying a light that cannot be denied. You will be the proof that what was broken can not only be restored, but recreated into something stronger, more radiant, and more purposeful. Beloved, understand this. Your rise is not for spectacle, it is for service. I am not elevating you so that the world might applaud. I am lifting you so that the world might be healed. I am not placing you in positions of influence so that you may boast. I am placing you there so that others might find hope. The scars you carry are not decorations for pride. They are tools for compassion. The places you were wounded are now the places you will bring healing to others. For I do not waste pain. I redeem it. I reshape it. I send it back into the world as an instrument of deliverance. Do not fear your scars. They are not marks of weakness, but vessels of power. They will speak to those who are still in chains, those who are still bleeding, those who believe their story is over. Your scars will declare to them, if God did it for me, He can do it for you. In this way, what once made you weep will now make others rise. What once broke you will now become a stepping stone for generations. Consider the life of Bethany Hamilton. She faced tragedy that could have ended her journey before it began. Yet through what was lost, I revealed strength, courage, and resilience that inspired the world. Her brokenness became her testimony. Her testimony became her platform, and her platform became a tool for lifting countless others. Do you not see, beloved? I am writing the same story through you. What you thought disqualified you will become the very evidence that I have called you. This rise is not for indulgence, but for assignment. It is not for glory of man, but for the glory of God. When I raise you, it is so that you might carry others. When I bless you, it is so that you might be a blessing. When I restore you, it is so that your restoration may ripple into families, communities, and even nations. For your life is not your own. It is a vessel of divine service. Beloved, you are not stepping into influence for applause. You are stepping into a commission. This is a holy sending. I am sending you to places where your voice will break chains. I am sending you to people who need the comfort you once longed for. I am sending you to atmospheres that have been waiting for your obedience. This is not a small task, nor is it temporary. It is a global and generational assignment. Understand the magnitude of what I am doing. Your life is becoming a legacy. Your obedience today will impact not only you, but generations to come. Your children, your children's children, and those yet unborn will walk in freedom because of the yes you gave me in your brokenness. They will inherit courage because you chose faith. They will inherit hope because you refused despair. They will inherit freedom because you allowed your chains to become testimonies. So do not despise the breaking. Do not regret the wilderness. Do not curse the nights of silence, for they have all been part of a greater strategy. Your breaking was not the end. It was the chiseling of a vessel that could carry glory. Your wilderness was not wasted. It was the training ground for your calling. Your silence was not abandonment. It was the womb of revelation. Now that revelation is birthing through you, and it will not be stopped. I call you now to stand as one remade, not patched together with fragile pieces, but recreated with heavenly strength. Not glued by man's hands, but forged in the fire of divine purpose. You are not fragile, you are fortified. You are not discarded, you are deployed. You are not broken beyond repair. You are rebuilt for battle. Every scar is now your strength. Every wound is now your witness. Every fracture is now your fuel. Beloved, I remind you again, this is not about fame. It is about faithfulness. This is not about recognition. It is about responsibility. This is not about your name. It is about my name through you. When you rise, rise in humility. When you shine, shine with grace. When you walk in authority, walk with love. For the higher I lift you, the deeper I call you to serve. Do not be surprised if your influence spans beyond what you imagined. For this commissioning is not local, it is global. It is not confined to your lifetime. It is generational. What I am doing in you will echo through time, touching lives you may never meet. You will be remembered not for how much you gained, but for how much you gave. You will be honored not for your platform, but for your obedience. You will be known not for your scars, but for the glory that flowed through them. Beloved, you are not a victim of your breaking. You are the vessel of my remaking, and the world will see in you undeniable evidence that I take what is broken and use it for my glory. So rise now, not as one who hides scars, but as one who wields them as instruments of healing. Rise as one commissioned, one sent, one ordained. Rise not for self, but for service. Rise not for pride, but for purpose. Rise, for you are recreated to serve. Understand this with all the weight of heaven. This night is not merely about your elevation. It is about the legacy I am releasing through you. What I am birthing in you tonight will ripple far beyond your own life. It will touch generations. It will echo through families, through communities, through nations. This is not only your rise, it is the rise of all who will be freed because you stood in faith. You are not just stepping into promotion, you are stepping into purpose. You are not simply being lifted, you are being commissioned as a breaker of curses and an ender of cycles. For too long, your bloodline has been weighed down with burdens, repeating patterns of fear, lack, brokenness, and despair. But tonight I declare through you, enough. The chains that bound your family are shattering. The lies that lingered for generations are silenced. The strongholds that enslaved are dismantled. You are the one I have chosen to cut the rope, to sever the cycle, to open the way for those who come after you. Do you not see the sacredness of this moment? You are not rising alone. You rise carrying the hopes of those who prayed before you. You rise carrying the weight of silent cries from your lineage. You rise holding the promise that your children and your children's children will not walk through the same deserts you endured. You are the curse breaker, the cycle ender, the one marked to reverse what hell thought was permanent. Every pain you endured, every betrayal you carried, every wilderness you walked through, It is now being transformed into a roar of freedom. Your suffering was not meaningless. It was the groundwork of a foundation strong enough to carry others. Your tears were not wasted. They watered the soil for a harvest that will bless more lives than you can imagine. Your scars will not remain silent. They will speak with authority, declaring to those still in bondage that freedom is possible. What once seemed like weakness has become your weapon. What once looked like defeat has become your platform. Do you remember my word through Micah 7:8? Though I fall, I will rise. That word is your banner tonight. The enemy rejoiced when you stumbled. Darkness celebrated when you were pressed down. But the story did not end there. What was thought to be your collapse has become your catalyst. What was marked as your ruin has become your resurrection. And when you rise, you will not rise quietly. You will rise with a sound that shakes atmospheres, with a roar that silences opposition, with a testimony that echoes through generations. You are a walking miracle. Every breath you take is proof of my power. Every step forward you make is evidence of my faithfulness. You are not a story of survival alone. You are a story of triumph, a living testimony of grace. People will look at you and know that what I have done cannot be explained by human reasoning. They will say, "Surely the hand of God is upon them." For I have preserved you, I have refined you, I have raised you, and now I will reveal you as undeniable evidence that heaven still moves in power. But beloved, as I raise you, remember this: your power is not found in pride. Your authority does not come from arrogance. Your strength flows from humility. James 4:10 declares, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up." I call you to remain bowed before me, even as I lift you above the heights of opposition. The secret to your influence will always be surrender. The depth of your authority will always be tied to the depth of your humility. As long as you remain yielded, no force can bring you down. Hear me clearly. This is not the end. It is the beginning. What is unfolding tonight is not the closing of a chapter, but the opening of a movement. This rise is not temporary. It is generational. It is not a flicker. It is a flame that will spread. Your obedience tonight sets into motion waves that will continue long after your footsteps fade. Your yes is birthing a movement that cannot be stopped. Do not underestimate what I am doing through you. This is bigger than promotion. This is bigger than personal blessing. This is the unleashing of destiny, the birthing of legacy, the start of a divine shift that will ripple across nations. When you speak, hearts will awaken. When you move, chains will break. When you shine, others will find courage to shine as well. You are not just an individual rising. You are a movement in motion, a wave of transformation released by my hand. Beloved, take this mantle with reverence. Carry it with faith. Walk in it with boldness. For the world will not only see your rise, they will feel it. Families will be healed because of your obedience. Generations will be freed because you endured. Communities will be transformed because you said yes. This is the power of legacy. This is the weight of destiny. This is the reality of the divine turning point you are stepping into. So let your heart not fear, and let your spirit not hesitate. Step into the fullness of who I have called you to be. Rise as the breaker, rise as the builder, rise as the vessel of glory. For tonight is the night of turning, and from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again. Beloved, I have seen your faithfulness. I have watched as you prayed in silence, as you lifted others while carrying your own burdens, as you sowed seeds in hidden seasons with no applause, no recognition. And now, heaven responds. The tears you sowed are becoming songs of joy. The secret sacrifices are turning into a public harvest. Psalm 126, 5-6 declares, "Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy." Tonight, that word becomes your reality. Just as I raised Harriet Tubman from the chains of slavery to be a deliverer for generations, so too am I raising you. Not only for your freedom, but for the freedom of those who will walk after you. Your obedience is not small, it is generational. Your perseverance is not forgotten, it is the foundation of a movement. This night marks a divine exchange, a transfer of weight, a birthing of new beginnings. I thank you for your presence, whether you have given through offerings, through prayer, or simply by showing up with a heart open to my word. Every act of faith, every moment of surrender has been sacred before me. Now I call you. Let this message not end here. Share it, that others may find hope. Subscribe that you may remain connected to the river of my word. Comment your prayers, that they may join the chorus rising to heaven. Together you are more than individuals. You are a body, a family, a movement of faith. And now I bless you. May abundance overflow in your life. May peace guard every step. May wisdom guide your path, and may courage sustain your heart. Walk forward knowing this. Tonight your life changed. The future is not as it was. You are walking into destiny,